3:30 p.m. and we will begin. Let's do a roll call. Commissioner Shauna Larson.
Here, Commissioner Larson present.
Okay. Commissioner John Kress is here. Commissioner Melody Williams. Not here. Commissioner Andy Gomez.
I'm here.
Commissioner Nancy Riggle. Okay, looks like we have a quorum. Is that your?
We do have a quorum.
Yes, very good. Thank you. First up on our agenda is public comment, item 1.03. Do we have any written comments that have come to us?
No written comments in advance.
Okay. Are there verbal comments to be made during this meeting? Not seeing any hands raised from verbal contents among those attending. So we will move forward.
I'm also just going to announce real quick that we do have Commissioner Riggle joining us online.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so the first item on our agenda is the approved minutes from the August 14, 2025, and that's part of the consent agenda. I would move to approve the August 14, 2025 meeting minutes. Is there a motion to do so?
Yep, I motion to approve it.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Let's invite votes then on that motion. Commissioner Larson? Yes? No? You with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
That's a yes. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Riggle?
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez?
Yes.
The motion has been approved. The minutes stand as they have been written. And item 2.03 is just a motion to approve the consent agenda items. Is there such a motion?
I motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Okay. Second?
I second.
Thank you. Those in favor of that motion,
Aye.
say aye. Yeah.
Aye.
We can do a voice vote here. I'm hearing consent. So that motion is approved. We next have a presentation by the on-call city engineer report, Mr. Fazzari.
Thank you. If you could open the document, please.
The webpage is loading. One moment, please.
And while we're waiting for that to load, I'll be covering the first half of the slides, just a summary of the projects that I'm working on with JUB, and then Tyler French here is also going to present on the last half of them as well, projects that he's familiar with. I thought so too. Do we start with Robert's report while we wait for this to load?
Let's do that then. Let's move to let's see. Item 3.02, Public Works Director Report. Mr. McAndrews.
Thank you. Sorry, you got me right after I threw a lifesaver amount, so.
Hmm.
I'll touch on just kind of a verbal update on a bunch of the projects we have going on that JUB is not directly involved in. So first one I'll mention is our well 8 project. This is the well we've been drilling down off of Teal Lane. Yeah, kind of in the southwest corner of the city. So we've talked about this a few times, I believe. We drilled the well, we had lower yields than we had anticipated, went back and did some more well development, raised the yields a little bit. Still not great, but enough where we're going to move forward with the well. And we did some water quality tests and had high iron and high manganese. So went back and flushed the well and took some more tests, and the manganese levels are still high enough that if we are to proceed with that well, we will have to include well over $1 million in treatment and ongoing operations costs. And so we're still digging into this a little bit deeper to make sure we have all our data right, but it's looking probable that we will not be proceeding with that well. And we are actively working on identifying a new well site, working with our funding agencies to hopefully determine how to roll some of the funding that we have over and leverage it to get additional funding to drill another well. So a lot more to come on that. Plan to give an update at council, the next council meeting as well, but there's a lot of things kind of in the works right now. So that's my update on well 8. Kind of unfortunate news. Fire station upgrade, energy savings upgrade. We've got McKinn Street on board, getting ready to start real soon on some HVAC upgrades and energy savings improvements at the fire station, which will be a welcome improvement over there. Our Lions Park project is basically done. There's a few last minute, fairly minor punch list items and some warranty stuff that still needs to be addressed, some of which will have to happen next spring after the wet season. But we're just about there finally on that one. That drug out a lot longer than we had intended. The community center, we are still working on finding funding to replace that Lions Club building with a nice new community center. We have a somewhat significant funding gap, and are actively trying to find additional funding for that. So we'll hopefully be able to move forward with that project as well. We've got some property across the street from City Hall here for a downtown parking lot. And we intend to put out a RFQ to hire a design consultant in early 26 to get moving on design of that parking lot. Majanya Road, major road improvement project that's coming up. We've completed design. We've completed all the right-of-way acquisition with the exception of 2 parcels, 1 property owner who hasn't really wanted to play ball, and we are moving forward with condemnation potentially on that process or in that parcel. So the goal is to be able to get possession and use and move forward with that project, advertising it in early 26, and with any luck moving into construction first thing in the spring. More to come on that as well, but we're working diligently to make that happen. Whitman Drive and Davis Street lighting project, and sidewalk improvements. We put out an RFQ, selected a consultant, and are gonna be moving forward with design on that real soon. That'll be adding some street lighting along a little bit of Whitman and all the way down Davis to Sixth Street, and including sidewalk between Fourth and Sixth on Davis, and an RFB crosswalk at Fourth and Davis. Then we've got our Rose Street lighting project. If you've driven down Rose Street recently, you've seen that that is under construction, is underway. The contractor is moving forward with that. By the end of the year, we should have our street lights in place on Rose Street. Our Whitman multi-use project is another one we put on RFQ. It's selected a consultant, and this will be the project infilling the multi-use path between Academy and I think Davis. But there's a gap in there. There's a section of narrow sidewalk and a section where there's no pathway at all, and this will be an infill to complete that multi-use path through that corridor, which will be a great addition. So planning to get design done in 26 and secure construction funding to be able to move forward shortly thereafter. Well 3 upgrades. So well 3 is our well down on Larch and Lamperty, kind of kitty corner from Hop Thief down there. It's one of our best producing wells, but it's also one of our older wells and has some older equipment, no backup generator. So we got funding to do design of some well house improvements and adding a generator. It could end up in a full well house rebuild, but trying to bring it up to standards along with some of our other new wells. So we've awarded that design contract to RH2, and we'll be moving forward with that here shortly. And then we've also got our Reservoir 1 seismic upgrades. So the water tower that everybody sees around town that's been here forever since the 40s is we've got RH2 working on some seismic upgrades, design, and ultimately to repaint that tower. So the seismic report is about completed. I think they were, last I had spoke with them, they were doing some geo work to identify any needs for the footings, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward with that project soon. And then we've got 2 safe routes to school projects, one for Davis and one for Sager. So the Davis one is adding sidewalk on Ash Street from A to Whitman. Our hope is to include an RFB across Whitman. And then let's see here, from Second, Birch from Second to Fourth. We'll be adding sidewalk and narrowing up that right. There's a narrow right of way to begin with, so it should include one lane that street to make it safer for the vehicle and pedestrians. And then the Sager one is sidewalk going down Central Avenue from Larch down all the way to Lamperty essentially, and then RFB crossing across Lamperty towards Walmart. And those have both been awarded to, in one RFQ for design to DEA. We plan to start on design here shortly. So I think that's all I have that JUB is not involved in. I'm probably forgetting something with everything we have going, but that's my report for today. Any questions?
Lots of good things going. Thank you for your report. Questions for Mr. McAndrews?
I have a question. So did we get the money for the seismic refit for the water tower? The last I heard, that money had been put on hold.
I think when there was a shakeup early on federally, and I think it was uncertain, but to my knowledge, that money is back on. So yes, we have the funding for that.
Cool. Thank you.
Other questions?
I have a question. And so on Davis between Fourth and Sixth, do you know if the sidewalk's gonna go on the east side or the west side of the road?
I believe it is planned on the east side of the road.
Okay. That changes what we do, but so thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you again.
Okay.
We have a report in front of us.
We got one.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right, yeah, so we're just gonna give you a real brief update of the projects that JUB Engineers is working on for the city. Next slide, please. So first off, at the wastewater treatment plant, there's a few projects there. First one's phase 1A. So it was replacing influent screens, fixing some leaking air piping, expanding a basin, doing some yard piping and electrical upgrades. So that project's just about complete now. Should be finishing up here later this month, I believe. Then just to remind you, this was Apollo Inc. is building this project. It's a $5.7 million project. And it's been funded with a $3.5 million grant from EPA. And then the additional monies are coming from Ecology of a mix of grant and loan. Next slide, please. Then the next project at the treatment plant is what we're calling phase 1B. So this is the majority of the upgrades at the treatment plant. We were previously on hold. If you recall, we were evaluating some regionalization opportunities with the city of Walla Walla. Decided, we evaluated that, decided not to go forward with that. So now we are moving forward with phase 1B. And so this is something that was required as part of compliance with your existing permit. And so basically these improvements include a new UV disinfection system, a large effluent storage pond, and then new pump stations and irrigation distribution for all of that 100+ acres of land, cropland around the treatment plant where the water is land applied. So we're just wrapping up final design on that and hope to advertise that for bids in early 2026. And just a reminder, this project's funded with Ecology funding, a mix of grant and loan for that project. So lift station number 5, this was a project on Southwest First Street. Construction's complete on this. We're just waiting on some final paperwork with the contractor, but that project's now complete. And this was one of those funded with the same Ecology funding package that's half grant, half loan. General sewer plan update. So this is basically an evaluation of the sewer collection system. So if you remember, we did this general sewer plan update, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and we identified 10 years worth of projects in that plan. And it was just good timing with a lot of funding that Ecology had, and we were in a good position to capitalize on that. So we were able to do 10 years worth of projects in 1 year. That was the cured in place piping project. So now we need a new list of projects in an approved planning document. So if we're in the fortunate circumstance of Ecology having some money, we can put forward this list of projects and have them give us some more money. So we're working on updating that right now. So we're working with the operations crew and other city staff to put together a list of prioritized sewer collection system rehab projects that we can target for the next 10 years. So hope to get that plan completed here end of the year, maybe early next year. And then again, it'll be kind of our hunting license for more funding. Next slide, please. Whitman Drive street trees. So this is a project where the city got some funding to add trees and irrigation along Whitman Drive. And so we've begun the 30% design. It was on hold for a while when there was some ambiguity about the funding, but that's back on now. So we were also waiting till the city had an arborist on board. And so now that arborist is started with the city. So we will pick this project back up from being on hold. So it's basically putting in a row of street trees just north of the airport there on Whitman Drive. So it'll be the street trees and the irrigation for those street trees. Next slide. Veterans Park. So this was a project that we've got to about 90% design on. It started as just some sports courts that the city got some funding for. Then it was decided to also replace the playground equipment. And so we've drawn up the design for that. The city doesn't quite have enough funding to construct the project. So we estimate you need about $2 million of funding for it. So we're holding it at 90% design and looking for other ways of funding the project. Then once we secure construction funding, then we'll finish the design and get it ready to go. But we're on the hunt for funding right now for the project. So reservoir number 4. So this is a large water transmission main project for the city. This is putting an elevated water tank out on the west side of the city, somewhat near the wastewater treatment plant. 1 million gallon elevated tank and a lot of transmission main that'll extend the water system westward for all the areas of planned growth for the city. So we've completed the 90% design. We've broken the project into 3 different phases as listed there. What we're calling Project 1 coincides with the Majania Road project that Robert talked about. Project 2 is all the transmission main west of Majania Road. And then Project 3 is the tank itself. As of now, since we've been waiting for Majania Road to get through that right-of-way process, we've decided we're just going to go ahead and advertise Project 2 for bids here early next year since it's ready to go. That way we can get a contractor on site and building that transmission main. So we can start spending that money since that project's ready to go. So you'll see an advertisement for that project here in early 26 likely. And these projects are funded with, we have a $10 million funding package from the Department of Health, half loan, half grant. And then there's a few other federal funding pieces that we're still waiting to see them across the finish line. Those will really help build Project 3, which is the water tank. And that's my last slides, and I'll turn it over to Tyler French.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me here. So as Alex said, Tyler French with JUB. I guess we split the list up because the city's got a lot of projects going on right now. Hence, JUB has a lot of projects going on. So I'll jump in with a few I'm more familiar with. The 6 and Birch project. A lot going on here. Water and storm on 6 streets. Water, sewer, and storm on Birch. And then a new addition to the project is some storm pipe improvements on Bade Street going to Garrison Creek. This is funded by a Public Works Trust Fund loan. We're working on design and permitting right now, and the next step is to get the design and permits finalized and try to advertise for bid in January and start construction in 2026. Next slide, please. The decant facility, the 90% design is complete, and we took that design to Ecology and received Ecology funding for construction. So the next steps will be to finalize that design and take this to construction. We just received, I guess, the funding, and the agreement's under negotiation still. But the city should have a signed contract from Ecology for that funding here in the next month.
Okay.
Any questions in the audience?
This is Commissioner Williams. Can you remind me where the decant facility is?
Yeah, the decant facility's out near the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
So with the construction of a couple of these projects out near the wastewater treatment plant, the goal is to hopefully find a contractor that wants multiple projects so the city can get good bids. And I know GB's involvement in the construction with observation and the construction management. The idea is to group everything together and try to do what we can, since these projects are in a very close proximity. So trying to think if there's anything else on this one. I think I've covered this project unless there's any other questions. Next slide, please. Northwest Earl Lane is a stormwater project that the city just received an award from Ecology for this. So this project will reconfigure some stormwater piping along Northwest Earl. add some stormwater treatments, and then reroute outflows into the Military Springs. There's currently a bit of a flooding issue there with some backed up old piping that essentially needs to be rerouted. Still waiting for the final funding agreement from Ecology, but we should be able to start design once we get that. And this is slated to ask Ecology for some funding for construction in 2026, which would put it out to construction in 2028. Southwest 10th stormwater. Again, more improvements here with some treatment going to the creek right now. Southwest 10th drains directly into Garrison Creek. So we'll add some curb and gutter, add some sidewalk, water quality treatment devices. This was funded through Ecology Stormwater Program as well. Working on the design, working on the ecology requirements and the permitting. We'll have some geotech investigations that are needed. And then we'll be working finalizing design. So again, this is another one of those projects where the idea is to take a 90% design for funding in 2026 to be awarded in 2027 to go to construction in 2028. Brentwood Place stormwater. So here there's an outfall with a stormwater pipe actually that goes from a manhole underneath the garage, a private garage there. So the idea is to reconfigure that piping and add some treatment to that and reroute that stormwater outfall there. Design and permitting are underway. This is a grant through Ecology, so we'll need to get Ecology approval on the design. And I believe this one's for design and construction, this agreement with Ecology. So either constructing in later 2026 probably, or maybe even 2027 on this project. Public Works stormwater improvements. This is yet another Ecology stormwater project where we'll do some improvements to the yard and some containment areas and just overall improve the stormwater runoff as it leaves the Public Works yard. Design and permitting underway. Broken record here. Need to obtain Ecology approval, advertise for construction either in 2026 or in 2027. The Southeast 12th Street improvements, there's potentially a lot going on with this project. So the city had a discussion with a bunch of funding sources. It's called a tech team through one of the local statewide conferences where we sat down with all the different funding agencies to talk about these improvements. So there's roadway improvements, water, sewer, stormwater. Sort of what came out of that meeting was a phased approach, with phase one being utility improvements. And out of that, the phased approach, we learned about the order in which we should apply for funding and the order in which we should potentially do the design based on all the different funding timelines. So the city submitted an application last year and received around $500,000 to do the water design on 12th Street from College to Moira. The next phase of the utilities is the sanitary sewer and the stormwater. The city applied for Ecology funding for both of those design components just this last September. The offer list will come out in January to see if those awards, if those projects are awarded, the design is awarded. Phase two would be the roadway improvements. There's a proposed roundabout at large. And then some additional improvements on 12th Street, including the addition of sidewalk, green space, bike lane, parking, sort of a roadway reconfiguration. Again, that is on a whole different level of funding and a whole different schedule with DOT, TIB sorts of funding. So next steps on the 12th Street will be to start the water design, which has already been funded through Department of Health. And then get an understanding of if Ecology will fund the sewer and the storm from those recent applications. and then position ourselves for future funding for the roadway and the traffic improvements. Next slide. Here's just the summary of the ecology funding applications that the city submitted in 2025. So I already mentioned the 12th Street stormwater for design and the 12th Street sanitary sewer for design. The city also submitted a stormwater request for the Military Springs Outfalls project, and then a Central Ave sanitary sewer design and construction project. And then the last bullet there, just a note on the Skipple projects Alex had mentioned. So the wish list that we develop of all the city sanitary sewer wastewater projects, when we have that wish list, the Skipple program allows the city to submit for funding on each individual project instead of always waiting for this application period. So we've developed a new list of Skipple projects and just recently submitted that to Ecology. Next slide, please. All right, 8th Street sidewalk projects. We got funding from 2 sources to install sidewalks on the south side of Southeast 8th. Phase 1, I guess, is the Birch to Larch, which is under construction. And substantial completion should be done by the end of the year. And then phase 2 is College to Birch. We're awaiting WashDOT approval. Design's ready to go, but with the paving and construction windows, once WashDOT approves, we'll need to go out to bid for that. So we're looking at construction early of 2026, early spring. The East-West Road is a new corridor that'll connect College Avenue to Teal. Be 2 lanes, center turn lane, bike lanes, planting strips, sidewalks. Design's underway. We recently worked with the city to make a couple additions to the design, adding water line. There's already a sewer main that runs through the same corridor, but we'll need to add some sewer stubs before paving of the roadway happens. The irrigation main for the future wastewater treatment plant reuse water. And then of course, some landscaping and irrigation there. Next steps, finalize the design by the end of next year. And this is a project that the city will actually hand the design over to the contractor for when, the developer for when they're ready to develop this corridor. Next one here, they're related. They're close here. The East-West Road roundabout, multi-lane roundabout at College Ave and East-West Road intersection. Currently working on right-of-way acquisition and the 95% design. This will be a city construction project, not the developer. And the plan is to go to construction in 2026, pending right-of-way purchasing and right-of-way acquisitions. Next slide. The Lamperti College Ave improvements. So we're working on a design to install a barrier to prevent the vehicle incidences that have been occurring there. So I think we're at about a 60% design. Should be submitting that to the city here in November and working through that. And next steps will be to finalize that design and then secure the construction funding. We made it.
Additional questions for Mr. French, commissioners? Hearing none, do we have any questions regarding Mr. Fazzari's earlier presentation? You guys covered it. Thank you.
We can just wait.
Almost. Okay. It appears we have one action item on our agenda. It's section 4.01, the capital facility plan for fiscal year 2026 to 2031. Mr. Carlton, you want to speak to that?
Yes, thank you. For those that don't know me, I'm the finance director for the city. And I helped put this sheet together with the help of all the departments at the city. It's a 6-year capital facility plan, which specifies an investment strategy for a 6-year period. And this is a 6-year rolling period. So for the next time frame, we're looking at 2026 to 2031. The main focus for the budget for next year, of course, is 2026, where we look at confirm all the funding mechanisms and the projects moving forward. The other years are strictly strategic in nature, where we do surveys through the year. We look at needed upgrades for infrastructure and, of course, the availability of grants and financing mechanisms. I won't go through all the detail here. A lot of the projects were already discussed by Mr. McAndrews and JUB, but we're basically dealing with 8 different departments that submit their numbers for this plan. There's administration, fire, the police department, the parks, stormwater, streets, wastewater, and water. Of the totals we're looking at for 2026 capital budgeting purposes, $53 million worth of expenditure. And of course, those are all driven by grants, or if we have the proper funding mechanisms that work within the budget. The total for this 6-year period is just over 175 million. And you can see how that's spread out over the years based on the priority of the project, which is in the 3rd column from the left, which identifies where the city puts that in priority. But that being said, that's the plan for next year, and we're hoping to get your support on this plan and take it to council for approval on the November 25th council meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
The recommended action is that we vote to recommend the 2026-2031 capital facility plan to City Council at their upcoming meeting for budget approval. Is there such a motion?
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
Sure. So recently we awarded you the city $800,000 for the Majania Road project. Is that included? That amount included in the cost or in the budget for that project?
Yes, all the current funding mechanisms are included for that project.
Okay. Other questions? I will entertain a motion that we recommend to the City Council, the 2026-2031 capital facility plan.
This is Commissioner Williams. I recommend I move that we recommend to the City Council approval of the capital facilities plan.
Moved by Commissioner Williams. Is there a second?
Yeah, so I second it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gomez, I was going to say, yeah. All right. Any discussion prior to action on this motion? Let's take a vote then. I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Larson.
Commissioner Larson, yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Gomez.
Yes.
Commissioner Riggle.
Yes.
Motion is approved. We are recommending to City Council.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like that completes our work for today. We have received reports and we've taken an action on the budget proposal. Our next meeting is scheduled for March 12, 2026, right here, and we'll do it a hybrid meeting as well. That seems to work well for commissioners. And with that,
If you don't mind, I have an extra point you might not have on there, a report for the proposed calendar of 2026.
you know, it is on there, and I'm sorry I missed that. Thank you.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not Miss Garcia, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. So anyways, I'll pulled up on the screen. It's a list of all of our meetings for next year, and they're all color coordinated. Some of them are hybrids, as you'll see, like this one is the same day as UTAC and civil service are the same day. So if you just look for a yellow box in black letters, you won't find it because it's got the colors from civil service as well. So you got to kind of do some research when you look for your meeting a little bit. But I believe you guys start on March 12th of 2026. And there's some handouts over on the far table if anyone wants to grab a calendar.
Yeah, it's March 12th, correct? Right?
Yep. Mhm. And that's all for me.
I printed that out. Nice color. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, unless there are other items that we should consider or talk about, we will consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you. We have finished at 4:11 p.m. I don't think we have to vote to conclude. Great. Thanks, Andy. Gentlemen, thank you.